a little bit, and it's funny because Pete hosts this thing every month out in Stony Brook, and Pat used to come with him all the time. And last couple of times, Pat got up on stage and did some stand-up, which is something I think in the back of his head he always wanted to do. And I was surprised to hear it when he actually started doing it. I'm like, oh, really? You got up and did stand-up? He's like, yeah, he was all happy. So we're going to move from spoken word with Pete. And I swear to God, I know Pete since he was, 5, 6 years old. So it's a trip to see Pete. The long hair and the beard and the adult, and I still envision him as a little kid. So, again, I thank him. We're going to bring up Mike Abrusci. Mike is our cousin Kathy's son, and he's a budding stand-up comedian. He lives in Brooklyn. He does spots all over Brooklyn, Manhattan all the time. So please put your hands together for Mike Abrusci.
Here we go. This is the perfect venue for comedy. What a good time. Great. Alright, guys, I know I'm here to do comedy, but I will be doing a big Rush-style drum solo for most of my set instead. Alright, good. Joke one, out of the way. So far, so good. Now, real quick, I'll just talk about Pat real quick, and then I'll mostly be talking about me, because that's what's really important tonight. But no, Pat was my favorite family member to see. Every Christmas was at my Aunt Anne's house, and I couldn't wait to show Pat what CDs I got that day. Just to show him off, and he would bring me up in his room, and he'd let me put my dirty, gross, Cheeto-stained fingers all over his records. And it was just, it was the best. And, good. I'm glad I'm setting a nice fun tone for my comedy set. But good, alright. It's nice to be here at Revolution. The Revolution will not be televised, but it will have $8 mozzarella sticks, so I'm very glad to be here. I don't know if a lot of people know this, I am the bad boy of comedy. That's a big thing. I've really mostly that's coming from me. I've really been trying to push a bad boy image, and it hasn't been working because I say things like, I'm trying to push a bad boy image. But I try to be cool, but then the other day a friend of mine was talking about how she likes to mix weed and Adderall at the same time, and my first thought was to lean to the person next to me and be like, oh, I'm really scared of drugs. So, not as bad as I want to be. But, I don't know. This look, I think this look that I have is kind of, I gotta get out of this. This kind of the member of the Ramones with diabetes look that I have. It used to be kind of intimidating. Like, I used to walk down there, like, guys with, like, big beards and tattoos, you'd walk down the street and people would be like, this guy might be a Hell's Angels and he'll stab me in the stomach with a screwdriver for meth money. And now I walk down the street and people are like, oh, this guy definitely has a favorite Arcade Fire song. That is honestly one of the most offensive things that anyone can think about me, is that I'm an Arcade Fire fan. I will fucking... That's like being like, oh, this guy likes the musical equivalent of a dehumidifier. That's what he likes. This is just a glass of turpentine, by the way. I'll be drinking that all night. Alright, here's a thought that people don't like. I think that nerds are the new bullies. Stay with me on this. I'm tired of, like, the stereotype of a nerd of, like, a quiet, nebbish person with double pocket protectors that doesn't say anything. If you meet someone who has an opinion on anything, they will be the loudest, most opinionated asshole in your face about it. If you don't think that's right, go to a party and stand in the corner and then just say the sentence, I don't really like Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter that much. And then see how long it takes you to get physically attacked. I said that at a party once, and a guy who I thought was my friend called me a, quote, fucking piece of elitist scum. Oh, elitist scum? I thought I was a high school dropout who's really considering getting a gold tooth. I don't know how elitist you can be when that's your lifestyle, but drunk and like weird stuff, I thought that my biggest enemy was the jock, because life is just a John Hughes film. I thought my biggest enemy is the jock. But if I would ever say something like, oh, I don't really like sports that much, the worst thing a jock would do is like meanly question my sexuality, which is like something I've been doing since I was like 13 anyway, so they're not doing much for me. One time I was in the car with my mom, and out of nowhere she just put her hand on my leg and was just like, don't worry, Mike, any decision you make, I'll still love you. I was like, oh! She's like, alright, cool, just check it out. Couldn't figure it out yet. I don't think I should make fun of nerds that much though, because I'm a gigantic professional wrestling fan. Like, I love it. I love it so much that last year I spent $200 to go to WrestleMania, and then when The Undertaker came out, I started crying. This is the greatest night of my life. But it's so weird, like, a lot of people don't like wrestling. Like, people are like, you're an adult, like, don't you know that wrestling is fake? And like, yes, I know it's fake, but so is everything else that's on television. And I think people's sourpuss attitude about wrestling is keeping them from the best drama that's on TV right now. I think you can take Game of Thrones, I think you can take True Detective and Breaking Bad and fucking throw them in the river. I think you don't need them. Yeah, what? It's gonna get worse, sweetie. Game of Thrones, the Red Wedding, everyone dies on the show where fucking everyone dies. I've never even watched the show, don't say spoiler, I can't afford HBO. That's not drama. Drama is being someone's enemy and then going to their father's funeral and hooking up that dead man's casket to the back of a car and driving it around the cemetery. That was something that was on television for free on Monday Night Raw. Oh, True Detective, a guy kills people, puts antlers on them. That is not shocking. What's shocking is an 80-year-old woman having sex with a 400-pound man named Sexual Chocolate, and then she gets pregnant and gives birth to only a hand. Someone got paid to write that. I got a free Red Bull and the bartender's like, don't tell anyone. That's what I got paid tonight, so I just want to be a wrestling writer so bad. I can do it. I don't know, a bird has sex with an old lady and then a Wrestle with a Beat comes out 3 weeks later. Perfect. I just got health insurance. I'm so glad. I just went through a breakup, which was cool. Yeah, surprising. A guy wearing a jacket 2 sizes too small couldn't keep a girlfriend. So weird. Nothing to do with that. Has anyone cried on the street in front of a bunch of cops recently? It's just me? Weird. I cried on the street in front of a bunch of cops in the rain in an abandoned carnival, like some kind of overweight Ryan Gosling in the worst version of The Notebook that ever existed. It was crazy. My whole life right now is not set up to be single. It's set up to have people talk over my hopes and dreams in the back of the bar. And, that's fun. It's not set up to be single. I have like a boyfriend apartment. I can't invite a girl over and be like, hey, do you want to come over and see my collection of knives, other people's family photos, and old VHS tapes? Hey, where are you going? I haven't even showed you all of my masks yet. I got so many. Al Sharpton for some reason. The Ultimate Warrior original, thank you, poser. I have been aggressively dating though, or what some people call spiraling out, which is nice. And I have figured out this. Sex is gross and it should be illegal and we should all stop doing it tonight. It's disgusting. People look gross with clothes on. People with clothes on is a nightmare. Have you ever seen a guy in shorts? It's the worst thing you'll ever see in your entire life. Knobby, weird knees. And I don't even like guys, and I'm still like, ugh, no, I'm not going to do this anymore. I think I'm projecting because I keep on just saying I like girls so people know it. It's weird. But no. I don't know. I live in Brooklyn and like dating there is the fucking worst. I can't go on another date with an Urban Outfitters employee or I don't know, what to do. I get it, you're just moved here, your name's Hannah, you want to help people, you're in a transitional period. I'm not going to fucking watch Moonrise Kingdom ever again, okay? I can't do it. I'm sorry to do crowd work on you, but you're the closest person. What's the lowest amount of money you think that if you got, it would change your life? Like change everything about your life. Couple grand? I found $20 on the floor of a bar the other day and I became a new person. I was saying things like a Dickensian street character would say. I found $20 and I was like, ooh, now I get to eat hot food. Like the people do. I'm not proud to say it, but before I found that money at the bar, I was walking around eating other people's discarded pizza crusts. I was like, well, you gotta eat, and it's tough out there, I guess. I think being broke is a lot like that show Chopped on the Food Network, though. You just have like 4 things that you own, you have to make a life out of them before you get paid or fall in the ocean. It's like, okay, cool, I'm good till next week. Oh, now my roommate needs $40 for the internet bill? Why is everything I own on fire? Oh my god. What am I doing here? I don't have a problem with the IRS like a lot of other people do because I am an idiot. Every year I fuck up my taxes so bad they send me a letter telling me that they're gonna send me back more money. Which you think is nice, but I think that it's a secret government ploy to get me to throw out all of my punk records. Just walking around my apartment like, actually government's pretty cool! They gave me like $300 and I bought a TV and now I work for the city and I'm a registered Republican. It's just my life now. But since I don't have a lot of money when I travel, I take the bus a lot. And taking the bus is a great way to travel if you love having an attempted murderer sleep breathe into your mouth for 4 hours. It's beautiful. A lot of times I take the Chinatown bus. And if you guys haven't taken that, it is a fucking death trap. It's the worst thing in the world. Basically, the Chinatown bus is like, if there's a Greyhound bus that's about to catch on fire, this company buys it, and then puts someone that has just recently smoked crystal meth behind the wheel, and fires you out to whatever city. You don't even have to give them money. You're like, I got this old stack of magazines and a necklace with a chicken claw on it. They're like, well, get the bus. You're going to Boston, probably. Boston, or wherever people that are lit on fire go. But sometimes you get more than you pay for with the Chinatown bus. I took it from upstate New York to New York City a while ago, and I got so much more than that $20 ticket price because I walked off of that bus with a brand new case of ringworm on the back of my neck. Oh, what a trip that was. I fell asleep on the bus without a hood on, like I'm Evel Knievel or something. One time I fell asleep in a tree and I was safer doing that than sleeping on this bus. But to get rid of ringworm, usually what you do is you put like athlete's foot medicine on it. And I did that, and what that did was horribly spread it all over my neck. It was a living nightmare. So I had to go to the doctor, but I don't have health insurance. So I had to go to a walk-in clinic, which are renowned across the world for their service. So I get in the room and I tell the nurse my symptoms, and then he writes them down on a piece of paper, and then gives them to the doctor, who walks in, and then walks up this weird little ladder to look down on my neck, and looks at me and goes, oh, just what I thought, chlamydia. I was like, excuse me, doctor, you know this is my neck, right? And then he slapped me on the back and went, just kidding, it's ringworm! Who the fuck hired Patch Adams over here? Give me that. I should have known he's the funny guy in the Superman scrubs. Waiting for him to like Fonzie the wall and be like, hey, here's your antifungal cream. Should I have been concerned that he introduced himself to me as Matt? Not Dr. Matt or Mr. Matt. Matt isn't my doctor. Matt is my old best friend from 3rd grade. I would call on the phone so we could accidentally wear the same Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt to school. That's who Matt is. Not a medical professional. Don't worry guys, these jeans are 1% spandex, so I'm going to push them to the max. Just doing this move. But, comedy is not the first form of art that I've done extremely mediocre at. I also used to play in a lot of bands. And playing in band, like the idea of playing in a band before you're in a band, and then playing in one after you join one are two totally different things. Before you join a band, you're like, I can't wait to go on tour in a bus where there's going to be people at these shows. And then you join a punk band. And one day you wake up and you're in the back of a decommissioned ambulance with no power steering and there's 6 people screaming in Cockney accents and all of them are from New York. And you're like, oh, this is my dream, okay. This is it. But it was good. Like, I don't have any, like, a lot of cool travel stories. Like, I got to see the country, I got to see the whole country, I got to see Canada, I got to see part of Mexico. But I don't drink and I don't do drugs, so like I don't have any cool stories. Like Nicky Six from Motley Crue has that story where he like ran out of heroin, so he shot a bunch of Jack Daniels into his veins instead. And he was like, yeah, this one's brown too, close enough, we'll do that, okay. And like the coolest story I have is like, yeah, I ate a bunch of food off the floor of a gas station once. Got caught stealing mustard by trying to shove it into a fanny pack in Jacksonville, Florida, now I'm banned from there. I've seen Birmingham, Alabama twice, I don't know. But, like, I went to a couple parties, like, after shows, and one time I was at a party, and I saw a guy with one nostril snort cocaine, and then with the other one inhale poppers. So I gotta come down there. But that was that guy's Friday night. And then after the tour I got home and I was like, oh, I think I'm a little too bored and I think I ate too much bread this weekend. So I guess I don't party as hard as that guy does. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what everybody's screaming about. I think it's about how funny I am. Oh, you see? Oh, fuck, I didn't want that. I don't need your praise. I'm gonna go home and, I don't know, look at pictures of myself and kiss them. It's not me either. You know when you say, you know when something in your head's a really good idea and then you say it and it's really dumb? That was, like that joke I just said was Caddyshack 2. You're like, oh, this is gonna be fucking great. And then it happens and you're like, oh, what a mistake. Why is this happening? But no, I got to, I'll end on this little story. I went on my first like adult vacation a while ago. A bunch of my friends wanted to go to Disney and Universal in Florida. And I was like, alright, yeah, I'm a giant baby, I'll do that, that sounds good. And then I did it and it was horrible. Because like going to Disney is like forced fun, you know, like there's fun being shoved in your face. It's like going to a costume party and then someone else shows up in jeans and a t-shirt and you're like, I could have been that guy the whole time? Spent $20 on this stupid hat. You're pissed. But while I was there, I was in the cultural mecca of the East Coast, which is Epcot Center, obviously, if you ever been there. And the big part of Epcot Center, the main attraction is like this man-made lake on top of a swamp, which doesn't make sense. But around it are all these little pavilions that are supposed to be different countries. Like there's France. But like everything is just like a food store and a gift shop and that's it. It's like, oh, France, crepes and berets. Alright, keep going over there. Canada, some kind of syrup pack. We don't know what they do there. I have no idea. But while I was there, I heard the best sentence I've ever heard in my entire life. I was in the Italy section, which is basically just like a giant outdoor marble Olive Garden. And I heard a mom look at her son and go, well, you better take a picture, because this is the closest your daddy's ever getting to Italy. Excuse me, ma'am? Is this the happiest place on earth, or the place where your son finds out that love sometimes dies? That's so hard. We're like, all that aunt's allowance, I hope you're going to get out for photography or on some of these divorce papers right now. It's like, oh, That's not how you're supposed to talk to your son. That's not how you're supposed to talk about your husband, who is the man you probably once used to love.